Hello everyone, it's Danielle and welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to stop by. So jumping right on in, today's video is a continuation of my video when I first tried gel plates. In that video, I talked about gel plates, the technique, and I showed all of the backgrounds I made with that first attempt. If you haven't, you can watch that video using the link in the description below. And if I remember to coordinate, I'll even have it as a card for you to reference here. So I'm going to start by folding my card base, and it's a standard A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm putting the card panel that I made using the gel press, I should say, I'm using my gel print, I think that's the right way to say it, into my stamping tool, and I'm going to stamp all of the floral images onto this panel. Now, one thing you'll notice, I'm starting one design and I wind up finishing using a completely different design. Initially, I had a vision of what this was supposed to look like, but after I began stamping, and it just wasn't what I thought. So I quickly shift directions. So I wind up using the die cuts, the matching die cuts for this stamp set, and then I take it from there. So after I cut all of the die pieces, I began to try to figure out how I make them work together. And originally I was going to have the lighter pieces shadow the printed pieces, but that didn't work for me. I couldn't figure out how to exactly make that work. Then I shifted to wanting to just use the printed ones, but I really didn't like how that dark ink came out. I didn't like that look. And I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to make those images work. So then I shifted again, and I wind up using a script background stamp and I print that onto these pieces that you see here. And I'm putting a little bit of repositional tape on the back of it, just so those pieces won't move in case I have to stamp it again. And if you hadn't noticed, the stamping tool that I'm using, it's on this last leg. The hinges are completely cracked, and I'm kind of chancing it. So I only have one time to make this image or a stamp impression. I only have one time to get it right because that hinge is completely broken on the top there. But anyway, I'm using my Simon Says stamp, smoke dye ink. It's a light faint color and I'm putting that onto that scripted background. I'm printing here, and I love the way that looked. And that kind of sparked a new idea. So I take it from there. Now, once I settle on where all the pieces should go, and I'm happy with that, I'm going to use the press and seal to keep that layout. So I can put adhesive or liquid glue on the back of that and then apply that back onto the card base. I wanted to add a little interest to the overall design, so I'm taking my small heart stamp and I'll be stamping impressions all along or directly onto the card base, and you'll see that in a moment. Now I'm using what's left of the original card panel to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to cut it out using the coordinating die. I actually used the coordinating die and cut it out twice so I can stack it to add dimension. So now I've decided to add more to the sentiment. So I'm going to add the words "You're so." So the entire sentiment will read "You're so beautiful." And the "You're so," I'm going to use my Versamark ink, apply it to black cardstock, and then I'm going to heat emboss using white embossing powder. And you'll see me do that here. So after I trim down that part of the sentiment, I add foam tape to the back for dimension. And then I try to figure out and position the entire sentiment onto the card panel or onto the card base. So I decided I wanted to add glossy accents to each of the hearts to give it a more finished look. And that finishes off my card. I think it came out beautifully. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you watching my video. Please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that. If you didn't like the video, that's okay too. There's a thumbs down button. I welcome that as well. And leave me a comment while you're at it. So thanks again for visiting. Please visit me at my blog and on Instagram. I'd love to interact with you there as well. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.